It's Tuesday, June 16th, and welcome to the reading of the Mansfield News Journal. My name is Pam, and let's begin today's reading with the area deaths. Lorraine L. Simpson, of age 57, of Shelby, died Sunday, June 14th, at the home of her sister after a brief battle with glioblastoma. Family and friends are welcome Wednesday, June 17th, at the Penwell Turner Funeral Home, 168 West Main Street in Shelby, from 4 p.m. until the time of the rosary service at 7 p.m. Funeral Mass will be held at 10:30 a.m. at Most Pure Heart of Mary Catholic Church. Clarence Clark Hargo Jr., 83, formerly of Lewis Street, transitioned this life on Friday, June 12th at his home. A private memorial service will be held Friday at 12 noon in the Ruth Ann Lee Williams Memorial Chapel of Williams Funeral Services. Thurley J. Bittenbender, age 99, passed away peacefully on June 9th at Worthington Christian Village. The family will receive friends on Friday, June 19th from 4 to 7 p.m. at the Ontario home of Wapner Funeral Directors. A service celebrating Thurley's wonderful life will be held on Saturday, June 20th at 11 a.m. at the Ontario United Methodist Church. Family will receive friends from 10 to 11 a.m. prior to the service, and burial will follow at Mansfield Memorial Park. Sharon L. Cutright, 78, of Ontario, passed away Saturday evening, June 13th, at her home. The family will receive friends from 1 to 2 p.m. Thursday, June 18th, at the Ontario home of Wapner Funeral Directors. The funeral service will follow at 2 p.m. Kenneth Michael Kosht, born July 24, 1954, died suddenly on June 11th at Ohio Health Mansfield Hospital after a prolonged illness. He was 65 years of age. A memorial will be held for immediate family members at Polk Church of Christ on Friday, June 19th, 2020 at 11 a.m. Well, this concludes the Tuesday Mansfield News Journal area deaths. Now for our first article. Council to vote on resolution on racism by Monroe Trombley. In Mansfield, City Council is expected to vote Tuesday on a resolution strongly supporting the recognition of racism as a public health crisis. This comes after 3 weeks of protests held around the world, including in Mansfield, Ontario, Shelby, Mount Vernon, and Belleville, sparked by the killing of George Floyd, against police brutality that have evolved into much wider calls for change. The City of Columbus and Franklin County have declared racism a public health crisis, while similar resolutions are being discussed in both the Ohio House and the Senate. Mansfield's resolution, sponsored by 6th Ward Councilwoman Jean Taddy, calls on the Board of Richland Public Health to make a similar declaration, declare a public health emergency, and partner with the local community to create a task force or organizing committee to provide equity and justice-oriented organizations by identifying specific activities, policies, and procedures to embrace diversity and to incorporate anti-racism principles across the community, its agencies, leadership, and staffing contract. Next point, develop a plan to understand, address, and dismantle racism, to undo how racism affects individual and population health, and to provide tools to engage actively and authentically with communities of color. Next point, advocate for relevant policies that improve health in communities of color and support local, state, regional, and federal initiatives that advance efforts to dismantle systemic racism. Next point, work to build alliances and partnerships with other organizations that are confronting racism and encourage other local, state, regional, and national entities to recognize racism as a public health crisis. Next point, use a racial equity lens to review public health activities and ensure data collection is comprehensive, educational initiatives are culturally competent, and policies are implemented to address the social detriments of health rather than reproduce them. The rich diversity of this community speaks to the need of lifting our collective voices to improve the lives of people of color living in Mansfield and Richland County, and further that racism, not race, also causes disproportionately high rates of homelessness, incarceration, poor education, health issues, including mental health, and economic hardships for African Americans, particularly, as well as for other communities of color. The resolution reads in part, noting 18% of Mansfield residents identify as African Americans, with 28% identifying as people of color. About 14% of Richland County residents identify as people of color, with 8% identifying as African American, according to the resolution. Members of council will vote on the resolution towards the end of their meeting, which will be streamed live on the city's Facebook page beginning at 7 p.m., as has been done since mid-March due to the coronavirus pandemic. Prior to that, council's finance, claims, and employee relations committees are scheduled to meet beginning at 5:50. Those meetings will be streamed live as well. We must address the injustices of racism and ensure equal opportunity for all who live in Mansfield and Richland County. We stand together as brothers and sisters to address racism as a community crisis, the resolution says. Amid calls by some activists to defund the police, officials in most major cities have pledged to divert some money from police department budgets towards social and community-based services. Most members of Mansfield City Council, who are charged with approving the city's budget each year, have displayed no appetite towards moving in that direction. On Tuesday, council is also expected to vote to discuss a proposal for the mayor to amend annual action plans indicating the proposed uses for this year's Community Development Block Grant and Home Investment Partnership Program, or the HOME Funds. Council is expected to consider awarding unspent home funds to the local district of Area Agency on Aging for an affordable housing project. That unused money was given to the city in prior fiscal years dating back to 2015. There's an authorize the city to accept an in-kind donation from Bo Lacey Construction for work to repair the gazebo's roof at South Park. Authorize transferring $10,000 for mowing services. Discuss a proposal for the city to accept $45,000 from the Ohio Supreme Court to develop a text messaging system that would notify people of their court date. Authorize the city to pay $11,222 to R&D Excavating. Authorize the city to accept a $4,200 grant from Richland County Foundation to hire an intern in the Community Development Department. To vacate an unnamed alley west of Bowman Street from West 3rd Street to the south end. Authorize the city to advertise for bids for leasing multifunction document devices and custodial services. Authorize the city to accept and appropriate funding from the Federal Aviation Administration to acquire grants through the CARES Act that will be used for Mansfield-Lam Regional Airport. Discuss a proposal that will allow the city to enter into a $295,575 commercial loan agreement through Richland Bank for an IT improvement project. According to the bill, the city would be on the hook for 5 annual payments in July 2021. Discuss a proposal that would allow the city to amend sections of the personnel ordinance by creating and adjusting positions, pay grades, and salaries for certain employees. Our next article, Mansfield Playhouse set to reopen in September, by Mark Cotto. The Mansfield Playhouse is tentatively set to reopen in September. Like many other venues, the Playhouse has been shut down since March because of the COVID-19 pandemic. This is all contingent on being able to truly open, Artistic Director Doug Wirtz said. With the shutdown imposed by Governor Mike DeWine, the Playhouse lost the last 3 shows of its 2019-2020 season. Wirtz shut down rehearsals for Agatha Christie's The Mousetrap even before the order. "We saw it coming," he said. Mousetrap was slated for April 17, 18, 24, 25, and 26. I had started building the Mousetrap set. I was half or two-thirds of the way done, Wirtz said. I had to walk away from it. It's been sitting on the stage this entire time. Next up for the Playhouse was a second stage production called The Savannah Sipping Society, scheduled for early and mid-May. Noting the Playhouse has already paid royalties for those two shows, Wirtz said they will be moved to the fall. The tentative plan is to open Mousetrap the week of Labor Day. We will have to have a plan for social distancing, Wirtz said. You almost have to have a bubble. We're trying to figure that out. He is considering filling 50% of the theater. The fear would be not being able to survive without at least 50% capacity, Wirtz said. We have to depend on our audience members. During these lean times, the Playhouse has received donations from patrons and funding from the Richland County Foundation, along with applying for financial aid. Wirtz said he wants to give a proper thank you to donors. We are so blessed and fortunate to have our own facility, but that also means we have overhead, he said. Theater's a weird animal. Wirtz said the Savannah Sipping Society will be moved to the main stage because the second stage has an audience limit of 75 people who are in fairly close quarters. Singer-songwriter Sean Mullins, who was scheduled to perform in April, is now set for a November 7 show with opening act Jai Marina. Mullins is best known for his 1998 hit Lullaby. We're working with the producers right now, Wirtz said. It's already over half sold. The fate of one production is still up in the air. The musical Frozen Jr. was supposed to be going on this month. Health organizations are saying that singing is not the way to go during the pandemic, Wirtz said, adding Frozen Jr. will not happen this fall. We're not sure where it's going to fall into place, he said, because the future's so uncertain. We can't announce our full season. Despite all the questions, Wirtz is ready for the 53rd season of the Playhouse. It's going to be a challenging year, but we're all excited that we've weathered this fairly well, he said. Keep us alive, Mansfield. Moving on. Assault at Love's Truck Stop ends in a truck fire by Lou Whitmire. In Mansfield, the driver of a flatbed tractor-trailer faces several charges after an incident that began with the assault of a woman at Love's Truck Stop on Ohio 97 in Belleville on Saturday night and ended with a vehicle fire on Woodbury Road, according to a report from the Mansfield Post of the Ohio Highway Patrol. Jerry Williams, 35 of Marysville, Tennessee, has been charged with failure to control, OVI, obstructing official business, and hit skip for damaging properties in Mansfield Police Department's jurisdiction and the guardrail, Sergeant Shane Morrow of the Mansfield Post said. At 11:46 p.m. on Saturday, Belleville police received a report that a man had assaulted a woman at the truck stop, Morrow said. A "Be on the Lookout" alert was issued for the driver's arrest. Lexington police found the flatbed tractor-trailer and followed the vehicle until troopers caught up with it. Morrow said it was not a pursuit. The commercial flatbed truck stopped to let the woman out of the cab along the way, Morrow said. Lexington police officers stayed with the woman, who said she told the driver to let her out when the vehicle's tires caught fire. Williams continued on, and when troopers found the vehicle on Woodbury Road off of Ohio 546, the commercial truck's tires were on fire. The driver refused to get out and had to be removed from the fiery vehicle, the trooper said. The woman reported the man had knives and fireworks inside the truck. Williams's tires caught fire due to damage the trailer sustained after crashing into a guardrail, Moreau said. The driver was running on his rims. The cab was drivable, but the vehicle was towed as the trailer sustained fire and crash damage, Morrow said. Williams remained in the Richland County Jail on Monday, awaiting an arraignment in Mansfield Municipal Court. Morrow said the woman went to a hospital after the assault at the truck stop, and then she had Williams pick her up. She was from out west, the sergeant said. He did not know her relationship to the driver. Williams was not injured. Our next article. A cat rescued from the top of the tree after 5 days by Mark Cotto. In Mansfield, a cat named Cole got himself into quite a predicament. Cole, who is under the care of Lola Cullen, went outside Sunday evening and didn't come back. He ended up at the top of a towering tree where he spent 5 days, including Wednesday night when strong storms and winds swept through the area. Cullen lives at Lakeview Estates near the marina at Clear Fork Reserve. A black cat, Cole is one of many strays taken in by Cullen over the years. She and her neighbor, Sarah Soria, were trying to maintain hope for the wayward kitty. He was finally rescued by Mark Clark of Clark's Tree Service, the 8th company that was contacted on Thursday evening. Scaling an estimated 70 feet in 15 minutes, Clark made short work of the job. "I've never seen anyone climb a tree that fast," Cullen said. "He was relentless." And Cole didn't make it easy. "He went clear up to the top of the tree," Clark said. "He didn't want to come down. I grabbed him and stuffed him in a bag." Soria and Cullen watched the rescue. "Adrenaline like crazy," Soria said. "I was scared he was going to die. It was heart-wrenching to watch." When Cole got home, a big bowl of fresh water was waiting for him. "He's a sweet cat and he loves to go outside," Cullen said. She said Cole and his 3 siblings were born about 2 years ago to a stray. "There's a lot of people that dump their cats in this area," Cullen said. Soria said Lola is a saint. She would let pregnant cats in and fix the babies, and stop the overpopulation from pets. "Every cat I've owned but one has come from Lola." Soria was the point person in trying to find someone to rescue Cole while Cullen was at work. She credited Diana Nolan, founder of STOP, with helping the cause. "I was getting nowhere," Soria said. Tom Presser and P.J. Raber unsuccessfully attempted to reach Cole. Making the task more challenging was the presence of poison ivy. "It goes all the way up the tree and gets thicker the higher you go," Soria said. She credited other people who stopped by to offer encouragement. Noting that Cole is young and healthy, Cullen was confident he would survive. Soria was concerned about the large birds of prey that nest at the reservoir. Cole had a tough night when violent storms blew through the area on Wednesday. He was hanging on pretty tight, Cullen said. If Clark's Tree Service had failed in its attempt, Cullen planned to cook on the outside grill, hoping the aroma would entice Cole to make his way home. Cullen said she might try to curb her cat's outdoor exploration. "Cole may not go out for a while," she said. And moving on, Senior Farmers Market Nutrition Program vouchers are available in Ontario. The Ohio District 5 Area Agency on Aging, Inc. is excited to announce the expansion of the Senior Farmers Market Nutrition Program into Richland County. This program helps provide low-income seniors with access to locally grown fruits and vegetables. Participants will receive $50 worth of coupons through the growing season to use at participating farmers markets and stands. Applications may be submitted or downloaded online at aaa5ohio.org/sfmnp. An individual may also call 567-247-7101 on Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. to request an application by mail. Well, the principal gets a grant to help with student trauma by Lou Whitmire. In Mansfield, the Association of American Educators Foundation awarded a $500 COVID-19 relief grant to Regina Sackman, principal of Spring Mill STEM Elementary School, to be used to create a professional development program for all school staff addressing trauma in students. Upon completion, teachers will build an understanding of trauma in students, what it looks like, and how to best handle behavioral changes caused by trauma, according to a news release from AAEF. "Trauma is a part of many of our students' lives," Sackman said in her submission. "The COVID-19 pandemic has added a new level of trauma to students' lives, requiring teachers to need unique tools and resources to best serve and educate them." This book study and curriculum will be a strong foundation for those tools and resources. In this unprecedented time of need, AAEF acknowledges the nation's educators and their vision for better serving their students and their educational community. This special cycle of COVID-19 relief scholarship and grant funding has been available to support educators, concepts, projects, and activities that will expand learning opportunities for their students. Ms. Saxman's proposal highlights the importance of addressing student trauma and incorporating appropriate trauma-informed practices and relevant mindful lesson plans. Melissa Pratt, AAE Senior Professional Programs Manager, said in a news release, "Our scholarship and grant program is one of the most important ways we encourage and spotlight professional excellence today. And through this special cycle of our program, we are able to respond swiftly with needed funds," Pratt said. All right, now we're into the local news briefs. Water main repairs force a road closing. In Mansfield, Sherman Avenue from Park Avenue West to Summit Street is closed due to a water main repairs. The road is expected to be reopened by the end of the workday on Friday. Avita allows limited visitation for patients. In Ontario, Avita Health System is now allowing limited patient visitation at its hospitals, clinics, and medical offices. Avita temporarily stopped all visitation on March 20, with some exceptions to protect patients, visitors, employees, medical staff, and the community from COVID-19 exposure. Patients are now permitted one visitor per day at Ontario, Bucyrus, and Gallion hospitals, as well as one visitor per day at Avita's walk-in clinics and medical offices. Visitation for hospital patients is 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Overnight visitation is not permitted. Hospital patients who test positive for COVID-19 will not be permitted a visitor unless receiving end-of-life care. Additionally, Avita is allowing 2 visitors per day for maternity patients and newborn office appointments. Patients receiving end-of-life care have no restrictions on the number of daily visitors, but only 2 will be permitted at a time. Visitors will be allowed to use the hospital cafeterias, but the general public is still not permitted. Many of Avita's COVID-19 precautions are still in effect and now pertain to visitors, including universal masking, 1 entrance per hospital, and health screening for all who enter the hospital. Veterans Honors Trip is canceled. In Mansfield, the Richland County Veterans Honors Trip, slated for September 25 through 27, has been canceled due to COVID-19, according to Chairman Dean Krantz. It has been rescheduled for late September 2021. Gallion schools prioritize teacher math instruction development. In Mansfield, Gallion City Schools has been partnering with the Mid-Ohio Educational Service Center to improve math instruction for the entire district. The district had established a district-wide goal for better math instruction in alignment with their implementation of a new curriculum in grades 6 through 12 and the search for a new math curriculum in grades PK through 5. Leanna Ferreira, Mid-Ohio ESC Gifted Services consultant and also Gallion's consultant for this initiative, said the middle and high school staff spent a significant amount of time creating a year-long curriculum map of implementing the new curriculum. Since the initiative started at the beginning of the school year, teachers worked with Mid-Ohio approximately once a month prior to the building closure in March due to COVID-19. Ferreira then designed several Google Classrooms, allowing the content to be contained in an online format so that teachers could still interact with the content and meet once a week. You can find out more about the teaching and learning tiers of support at www.moesc.net. People with questions about registration should contact Lynn Meister at 419-571-2128. Let's move on to police calls on the 300 block of Abbeyfield Road. Two 19-year-old women told officers Sunday they sold an iPhone to a woman for $150. The victim said the buyer came back and said the phone did not work. They left, and 40 minutes later, a man came up to them and pulled a handgun on them and said, "Where's my money?" The man fled after they told them they did not have his money. 1100 Caldwell Street. Officers were called to a residence Sunday on a report of a disorderly person. A 33-year-old man was arrested on a charge of drunkenness and taken to jail. At the Dairy Queen at 273 Glessner Avenue, a resident called Sunday about a man who was standing on top of the outside picnic tables, cussing and swearing in front of the business. The man grabbed his crotch and began cussing at patrons sitting in their cars, the concerned resident said. He was issued a summons on a charge of disorderly conduct and taken to jail. Harmony House, 124 West 3rd Street. A man was told not to return to the homeless shelter after he walked in and was asked to leave because he was causing problems. He returned again and when asked to leave said, "I'm going to blow this place up." When officers located him walking nearby, he denied making any menacing comments and said he had just asked for a glass of water. He was officially trespassed from the property. On the 700 block of Marlowe Place, a 72-year-old man reported his door to his residence was kicked in Sunday, and a door to the bedroom he was sleeping in was kicked in. One bedroom was ransacked. He saw two men who fled on foot prior to officers' arrival. On the 400 block of Speyer Lane, 3 witnesses told police Saturday evening that a 59-year-old man was assaulted by 3 men, the identities of whom are unknown. In a preliminary report, police say the man was uncooperative and was unsure who had assaulted him, saying he did not wish to pursue charges. On the 500 block of South Main Street, a 27-year-old man reported Saturday afternoon that his car had been stolen. A short time later, Lexington police located it and were led on a short chase. Officers made contact with 2 17-year-old boys who had been reported missing earlier that morning by Abrax treatment facility. The 27-year-old man told Mansfield police that his car had been returned and nothing had been stolen or damages. Charges will be forwarded to the county prosecutor. 200 block of Claremont Avenue. A 70-year-old woman told police Saturday afternoon that she had evicted tenants for allowing others to stay at the property. Afterwards, she found that the refrigerator, a sander, and heater were missing. Attempts to contact a 33-year-old man were unsuccessful. On the 900 block of Main Street, during an unrelated call on Saturday afternoon, officers overheard 2 men discussing the cost of marijuana, wax, and other illegal products. According to a preliminary report, the older man stated he could have the items for the younger in 2 to 3 days. The conversation could be heard in a common hallway, the report says. The 2 men were stopped as they came out to the hallway, and the eldest denied knowledge of drugs and associated prices. It appears that both were under the influence of alcohol and narcotics, according to the report. After being placed under arrest, an open bottle of black velvet and a vape pen with THC liquid was found in the 43-year-old man's pocket. He was taken to jail. The 27-year-old man was released to a sober party. Kingwood Center, 900 Park Avenue West. An employee called police Saturday morning with a report of a suspected counterfeit $5 bill. They weren't sure when the bill had been used or who paid with it. The bill was taken to the crime lab. On the first block of West Newland Place, a 59-year-old man told police around 3 a.m. Saturday that someone had put dents in the roof, trunk, and driver's side door of his car. On the 400 block of Gem Avenue, a witness told police around 12:30 a.m. Saturday that they saw a young man leaving the scene of a crash in a damaged black truck. Prior to the crash, employees of Abrax were in the area attempting to find 2 17-year-old boys who had run away from the treatment facilities. Attempts to find the teens were unsuccessful, but we know they caught them previously. Well, this concludes the reading of the Mansfield News Journal for Tuesday, June 16th. My name is Pam. You please stay safe if you can and stay in. The I hope that you are blessed, and I ask that you make it a great day.